So how many of you stayed home for Black Friday? How many of you followed my strategy? You know, there was a time where I was like cold. I was like cold. I walked into my house. I owned a house in Yucca Valley. It was cold and the power was off. I was like, what? You know how it's like to come home to a house, you see the lights off. You're like, did I pay the bill or not? Or did I have enough money in the account to cover the bill? That happened to me. I had a 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom house. And it was during that Great Recession, 2008, 2010. And I was struggling, man. I had a duplex and I had a client, a couple of tenants who didn't pay me, or if they paid me, they paid just a partial rent. The problem was I had their rent was about 1,000, but the mortgage was 1,200 or whatever, a couple of $100 more. So I had tried raising the rent a couple of times. You know what I mean? It's got to help me. Help you to improve the property. Well, that didn't work, and then I ended up losing a couple of tenants. So then the great 2008, 2010 Great Depression hit, man. That's when you couldn't get any credit. The banks started cutting off lines of credit, and like you had millions of layoffs. For example, like there was a bank called IndyMac. It used to be like you had bank tellers, bank manager, and they had like the bank president. You have people making 30, 40, $100,000 in banks out of business. And now you got to go to like, there were whole car dealerships. You know, when you go to a car dealership, you have the secretary, the mechanic, the service advisor, the person who washes the cars. Hey, maybe the people who run the stock rooms. I was here in San Bernardino, California, and when you drove down East Street, vacant lots of like cars all gone. In addition, I went out to Torrance, California. There was a street called Hawthorne Boulevard, and you used to drive up that street, vacant lots. All the car stores that were there are gone. And even today, like you'll go by some of them. We're talking about 8 or 9 years later. There's still like grass growing up where they are, and there's just nothing there. So I remembered that great 2008, 2009 recession, and because I remember like during Christmas time, you're like, what is this? We wish you a Merry Christmas and all the great help your good fellow good man. Well, the bank wanted their money for my house. I think my loan was $1,600 and something. I was running short. I was trying to use lines of credit. I was trying to find different size jobs just to try to hold on to the duplexes, but I also had to pay for my house. And all I got was, no. We're going to foreclose on your house. We're going to foreclose on your house. And then I got my biggest lesson, not from the banks, but from the so-called family friends. I tried to let my uncle, who had been AKA incarcerated in jail, stay at my grandmother's house when she passed away. And then just to give me twice the problems, we had a Christian, I call her name was Sister Flo, but I call her the Christian Leech. She slipped into my grandmother's house while she was sick, supposedly helping her out. So then when my grandmother passed away, I had to deal with the probation issue because stupid me listened to someone. We'll talk about that in another day. But the problem was, okay, I thought, hey, between these two people, they could pay like $150 and help me keep the house. I can do some repairs and like maybe keep the grandmother's house within the family. That was my strategy. But after a couple of months, I thought, okay, they were paying the rent. I was feeling good, had a little extra money to eat because like I was running like a $10,000 or $15,000 line of credit from B of A, and I was just exhausting it. I was pushing it to the max, $10,000, $12,000, $13,000. So I thought, hey, if they could just give me $300 break, at least I could be able to eat. Then lo and behold, I got a letter from HomeQ, and I said, rent hasn't been paid, housing note hasn't been paid for 3 months. And the taxes are behind. You got to pay at least $2,000 something, and we're going to repossess the house. And I said, what? They must get this. It must be wrong. Because the Sister Flo and Uncle Walter was like covering this note. So they must have made a mistake. I called. I was researching. Hey, what's going on? I thought you guys were paying. Hey, said you weren't paying. Do you have any money saved up? Oh, we don't have anything, Martin. We can't help you. So then I ended up going in my own pocket, more debt and just more money out my check, another $2,000. So that's why, and that was almost during Christmas time, Thanksgiving. But that's when I found out the true nature of man. You don't know, there's no way, when I hear all the peace on earth, goodwill toward man, yeah, that's 1 or 2 days out of the week, out of the year. So that means that 363 days out of the year, basically you're living with snakes and Christian leeches and people who don't pay their bills And that's what I learned. Avoid Black Friday, because like all you do, because then it's like Black Friday, you think, okay, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna get some deals and stuff, and you're like out there basically in the end you're just wasting money. And on top of it, you're buying a lot of people who think they're getting a deal, they're not getting a deal, and it was just a disaster. You get stuff that you buy and they tell you, hey, you can't use this, you can't use that, and like that's why I like say to stay away from Black Friday, because I remember that great 2008-10 recession. I mean, you can find a job anywhere. Like these places, like this fulfillment center, that's a fulfillment center. Let's look at it again. There's one over there. That's the new America. After there was like millions of jobs lost from car dealers to like logistics, trucking companies, and so I mean there were no. If it weren't for Amazon or reviving the so-called package industry at the expense of millions of retail centers closing, you would not have any type of trucking industry. And then I'll tell you about how Amazon is trying to get out of having their own truck fleet and push it on people to lower their costs. And do you know what happens when a big company pushes something out? It ain't for the little man, unless you're really smart, which a majority of these people don't. All right, so that's why I say Black Friday, stay away, man. Because now, as we hit this impeachment stuff, once that it starts to wind down, as soon as some of these companies realize that, hey, Trump's either going to stay in office, Trump's going to leave office, and even if Trump stays in office, if he loses any type of influence to control taxes or any type of business-related thing, it's done. He's gonna they're gonna just bail. You know who they're gonna? And as soon as they bail, they're gonna just start cutting people. Like, hey, we gotta protect our margin. So hey, because that's what happened during the last recession. Like some of these companies, like me, were hoping the checks would come in. Checks didn't come in. And also, what made it worse during that great 2008, 2010 recession was gas prices were high, diesel prices were high. And the companies that a lot of these trucking companies ship their products to just went out of business, and that's how they ended up going out of business. So I see the same thing, and also like there was like the housing was like just before my house. I think I bought my house like a year, that 2008 year, probably in 2007, and that 2008, 2009, 2010, just property dropped like 20, 30, 40%, and I have millions of layoffs. And now you see the same thing happen. Like you see all these houses. I have people buy, like there's like, you think you're gonna, people are buying houses. Hey, I got a house for $300,000, $400,000, but like I told you before, the only jobs around here are $15 an hour. So I only can make at the most $2,000. And then like most loan payments for houses are at least 25, 3 to 4. So I have there's really no jobs to support the housing that's out here. So you got people commuting 2 and 3 hours a day to LA, because that's where you have YouTube, Facebook, and anything related to like supporting them type influencers are all out there. And so I mean you can't get anywhere. You have to leave super early to get anywhere toward here, and then you gotta come back and you're just stuck in traffic for hours. You have people doing this every day. It's crazy, man. And now they're going to do it, and then like a lot of them, their jobs are going to end up disappearing, or they're going to end up taking a massive pay cut, because you can see that I just see the economy shifting. I can know when the economy is shifting is when I see developers start dragging on their projects. Usually when you build a project and you construct it, you want to get it out. You want to knock it out, get it done, get your retention, get out. I see a lot of these companies, like especially like anything business related, I see a lot of lots they went through, cleared the lot, put in all the utilities and stuff, but they haven't found a tenant to actually take over that ground lease. So I've seen that. I've seen big apartment complexes. I'm living in my apartment complex. I can see how they're kind of slowly like dragging their feet, because it's like investor with the bank. So you got two parties working together, and like whenever it comes to construction, there's always more money than you're gonna spend. So I can see how they're trying to like catch up on some of their other bills before they come and finish out other phases. So, and I think basically this Black Friday is going to be like I told you, like yesterday was like that fight, like the last Green Mile, where that big black guy got executed. He got to eat a good meal. Well, a lot of you people, especially in the fulfillment center area, I hope you enjoyed your meal, that you had fun, and hopefully you're smart enough to invest your money, and you're not like some kid living at home, some adult man, 40 or 50 living at home, think you're driving a fancy car, instead of taking that money and reinvested it in a, hey, live with some roommates, learn some skills, because times are about to turn, my friends. So I hope this convinced you not to go out for Black Fridays. At least it's convinced me. It's convinced me, hey, save that extra money, man. You don't need to be going out, Martin. You need to learn how to stretch your money. If not, invest in selling. Because one thing with all this technology that's going to help you, it's going to help you. You need to work on your sales skill, because that's something I learned. So let me know what you think, man. Send me a comment, some messages. We got to get some subscribers. I know you guys have been getting some great content. So I'm asking you, hey, I want you to say, I got some good stuff coming about the bully jumping me, my $7,000 for a gallon of gas. That's some great stories. But what I learned from those stories is just when you think things are going well, things can go bad. And when things are going bad, things can go good. But one thing you have to know how to do, you got to learn how to change people's belief. And let me know, am I changing your belief? This Black Friday, BF Day is what I call it, was my first attempt to change your belief about going out for Black Friday. Stay home with me. Are you going to stay home with me? Subscribe and let me know.